I believe that things that are supposed to happen always find a way to happen. Sometimes they make sense. Sometimes they don't. And sometimes they really, really hurt. But it's okay, because those things put us on a path to becoming who we're meant to be, and this is who I'm meant to be.
Beautiful Monday, you guys. Charts looking absolutely messed up because the market just opened and started crashing. I'm having a problem with this camera. This is the camera that I always record on, the CTG Osmo Pocket 3. And just look at what is happening. So normally you're supposed to switch it on like this. It is on, right? And then whatever, face the camera to me. Then when I want to record in YouTube format, I always turn this thing like this, right? You see? Now it's just falling right back. Like it's not even holding, it's just falling right back. I don't even know what to do. So I'm recording right now on my phone, and it's absolutely just so crazy. So when I was in Nigeria last year, November, when was that? September, November, I don't even remember, but when I was there, we went on this roller coaster ride, and I had the camera in my bag, and then it flew off, whatever. I lost the case, and then it has always been like this, you know, without they have this little case. So I'm guessing each time I put it in my bag or on a different spot, it just damaged this thing. So that is one thing that needs to get fixed this week. But if you find the channel for the first time, welcome. We trade the NASDAQ over here. If you're returning, welcome back. You already know what's up. Don't forget to hit that like button, turn your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel. Now I know it's been a minute since I said that, or since I made that intro or whatever, but before we start this vlog, I have a quick announcement for you guys. The certified trader group is officially open, but right now it is only open to the waitlist. So if you grabbed that free trading journal, if you join the waitlist, check your email right now. It is live. You have access, early access before everyone else, and there are only 20 seats available. So if you're not on the waitlist, follow me on Instagram, because the launch opens in 2 days. Everything will be announced over there, but the waitlist gets the priority right now. So if you want to secure a spot before anyone else, make sure you check your email and apply today, because those 20 seats are filling up very fast. But now I have to officially start up my day. So I will pick up the camera when I'm free. That is going to be during New York. No, when I'm actually doing cardio. So I'll see you guys then. Let's go. What is up, you guys? It's a beautiful Monday, and I'm feeling absolutely good. I just done my 30-minute session. Right now I'm in the sauna, and I'm about to stay in here for the next 15 minutes. At this point, you guys already know my routine, and that's what I'm doing. But the not so good thing is NASDAQ opened with a gap, and then, you know, kind of took. Alright, you guys, so my camera actually shut off when I was talking to you guys, and I just managed to charge it for a little while. So what happened is NASDAQ opened with a gap. I mean, you're watching this, you already know that, right? We opened with a crazy, ridiculous gap on the NASDAQ, and it took us out. You know that we were holding trades on the NASDAQ, and then we were risking $1,000, well, $900, but we got taken out on the NASDAQ trade, and so our account dropped not only by $1,000, but gold also went and tapped on our SL, right? So we also had a stop loss on gold. Then the market just went straight for the SL. It tapped on it a little bit, and then it shot right up to the top. Then you ask me, why am I in a good mood if we just lost $2,000? You know, my account has really dropped. It's around $8,000 right now. I haven't really dropped my account to around $8,000 in a long minute. But I will explain all of that to you guys. So I also managed to take a trade on US oil, which is currently running in the account right now. I'll explain the whole analysis to you guys when I get home on my desk. But for now, that's the quick update that I had for you guys. Our account is down by $2,000. I'm trying to connect it so I can show you guys, but whatever, it's not connecting. And our US oil positions are in crazy profit. It's going to be so crazy when I show this to you guys. But anyway, let's just go right now. I need to get home. Alright, I want you guys to check out what is happening on oil right now. Just look at this. Let me show you guys the drop. It's absolutely so crazy. Look at oil falling and tanking down. I'm about to close off this trade because what do you mean? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this drop. I was targeting the gap. All right, let me just close this trade. Honestly, I need to close this trade. Nah. Look at that. Nah. What do you mean? Look at that. This is a setup that you guys are seeing right over here. Yes, I literally was targeting the gap, not even down there. I was targeting the gap just at this level, and then my stop loss was right above the last support area that we had. And then you can totally see that the market just tanked right down. It's so crazy. Like, I was not expecting it to fall like this, but just look at what is happening right now. We had a build up right at that level, and then we broke out of this area right over here. Then we just tanked. We just fell. Yo, you guys, just look at this. It's been just a few minutes later, but look at how it just kept tanking down to the bottom. It is so crazy. I was trying to attempt to buy it, but then, I was attempting to buy it, but then with the momentum that it has, yeah, it's kind of like so risky, but then it looks so good right now. And I think I'm just going to go into, let me risk like, I don't know. We'll go in with the lower lot size here because I attempted to get in like the first time, and then you can see that I lost like $50 because I closed really early. Yeah, because of the momentum. You can see this. I was trying to attempt to buy it right at the support area here, but like the momentum is so crazy. I just had to close the trade. So I want to attempt it right now. You see we have a good rejection here, but I'm going to risk just $500. Let me not risk a lot, right? Let's just risk $500, right? Let's see how this goes. All right, so the trade is in, and yes, here goes nothing. Oh my gosh. All right, so you guys already saw what happened. I was trying to record at the same time to close the trade and focus all of those other things, but I don't even know if I was explaining things that actually make so much sense. But you can see right over here, this oil trade, we saw it in the morning with my group. We were actually looking at this level here, so we're having an analysis, everything was looking good, and then we had a big gap right over there, right? So we knew that oil was about to go drop, close the gap. Oh, what I just did is I sold off to then buy it back, right? Because I know that oil still eventually wants to push up to the top, which was really good. It was a really good call. But then, yeah, you can see it eventually we would have made a lot more money if we had held it, because we closed off here and then it dropped up another 100% of our profit. This would have been such a crazy trade, but you already know how it is. So I am super happy right now. Man, the lighting is not the best right over here. But anyway, you can see the trade in the background right over there. And it's late. It's like around almost 11 p.m. And yeah, the market is going absolutely crazy right now. Of all the times, like during the day, the market didn't move as much as it's moving right now. Even NASDAQ and US30, they're shooting up to the top. But unfortunately, I didn't go into a NASDAQ trade on with the inner circle or on my other accounts. I just attempted it on one of my prop firms, and well, it is shooting up to the top. Let me show you guys, as you can see right over here. So for this trade, I was risking $2,500. So my stop loss was kind of like somewhere here, and then as we moved up, we moved up in profit. I went and then I shifted my stop loss to break even when I hit one risk to reward somewhere here. That is when I shifted my stop loss, put it at break even, and now I'm just letting the trade run. It is risk free. And then also for US30, I'm actually in NASDAQ and US30. What was this? US30, right? That was NASDAQ. Let me confirm again. Yeah, this is NASDAQ, and then now on US30, pretty much the exact same thing as you can see right over here. Here I was just trading to close the gap again, right? And fortunately enough for me, the gap was to the upside, so that made it really good. But the trade for the day is actually this oil trade. And the funny thing is, I had attempted to buy oil, right? We were discussing this with my friends and all, that we wanted to buy oil. Let me show you guys when. Yeah, it was right about this level here. I entered an oil position. I think it was somewhere here, right? And then it had a gap here. You know what I did? I closed the trade. I absolutely closed the trade. It was a buy though. I entered a buy, and then this is recent. Don't even think that this is like long time ago. This is recent. Monday, the 2nd of March, right? And today is just what? The 9th. You see? So this is just a week ago. I wanted to buy oil right here. I would have caught this whole movement up to the top. because this was just a clean push to the upside. But I literally entered right here and closed right there. I didn't let the trade run because I was like, nah, I doubt it will push up to the top. You know, I wanted to trust my own analysis, but then it turns out like, you know, they were actually really correct. It then eventually shot up. I thought that the market would first close the gap, so I never entered the oil position. So I really just missed out on this whole movement. And then, you know, today we were looking at it again, and then yeah, the discussion started, and then I just was like, all right, let's just buy to close off the gap this time because of the momentum we were seeing and all of those other good things. Anyway, yeah, this becomes the trade. Yeah, a really beautiful trade for the week for me. I absolutely love this, and it has also helped me to recover from what happened to me on NASDAQ. Sorry, today is just a Monday. There is a lot of opportunity, and yeah, we will still get a trade, a really beautiful trade, especially with the way the market is moving right now. Absolutely love it. I think I had something like a trend line like this, was it? Oh yeah, so this gap absolutely disrespected the whole setup. You see that, right? We had a trend line, and then what kind of a retest is this? But anyway, that is all good. So all right, so I like to draw my trend lines from major swing points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider this one movement right over here. So that becomes one movement, and then my second movement becomes this one, right? Such that the third movement is going to be whatever happens here. You get it? So if it continues dropping like this, then it means that it's going to have to reject here, right? So the last trend line that you guys were seeing is I used this as a movement right over there, and then we pulled back. Then I used this again as a movement like that. So I took this trend line, but this time around I'll use these ones, right? So what I want to see right now is NASDAQ coming to this area and breaking out, disrespecting this trend line. If it does that, then the inner circle is in for a nice treat. We will get a really beautiful trade on the NASDAQ for that. So it's just a matter of patience. We're going to wait and see what then happens. Anyway, let me just see what is happening on this US oil trade. Okay, so you guys see that. So we're going to hold this overnight, and I am just risking $1,000 here because right, it does look good. We've seen a good rejection right over there, and then my stop loss is actually supposed to be somewhere here, but below the week. You guys can see. All right, so my stop loss is supposed to be somewhere here below this week that you're seeing here, but I'm just going to give it room to breathe, and then yeah, we'll pick it up from there. But for now, this is exactly what the trade looks like, and yeah, let's go. All right, you guys, it's a beautiful Wednesday, and I just decided to check on the charts. Nothing is happening. Nothing of paramount importance. Absolutely nothing is happening in the market. It's just, you know, the funny thing is we are actually still, you know, waiting for a trade. And right now it's just a few minutes after New York open. I think 40 something minutes after New York open. And you can see that US30 is falling from the trend line. This is a good rejection that we had. And the crazy part is I'm just coming from telling the free channel that we're consolidating in this area right over there, which is the current trend line. But then after I said that, then we just broke out of this area right over here on US30. So I'm guessing we're going for a different spot. We just have to be very patient with this movement. NASDAQ is doing the same thing, but the consolidation that is on NASDAQ is a bit better. This overall trend that you guys are seeing right over there, and you see the consolidation that we're having at a good support area or a resistance area, since this is a trend line. But then the thing that makes this trade not really good is because of this resistance that we're having here. So I can't really buy this. If I want to buy this, right, the next target that I'm looking at is right at this spot. So my stop loss has to go below this area, which doesn't really make any sense. This type of trade, it is too risky. For that reason, I decided to just let this trade go. It's not an A+ setup, so I don't really have to trade this, right? So for that reason, we are still waiting on gold. Yeah, let me see if gold is dropping also. Okay, perfect. You can see gold is also dropping. So we have a limit order on gold, which is looking really nice, patiently waiting for it to come to us, and then we are going to be in a trade. At the same time, remember, I was in a trade on one of my other accounts, as you can see right over here. This trade, we were holding it over the weekend or whatever, but then yeah, one of them finally closed. My stop loss got hit, but in profit. So I was trailing my profits, as you can see right over there. The stop loss got taken out at 2,500. This trade went all the way up to 3,000 700 if I'm not mistaken, but just because of the system and everything, we just couldn't close the trade. Then we had to wait for it, and that's exactly what happened. We eventually closed it off like this. All right, what is she saying? So we eventually closed it off like this, and yeah, that's a story for another day. And you know that I also entered that day into focused into an oil position. Nothing much has been happening on this one, pretty much playing around, and you know, we just so the gold trades are intact right over here. I'm going to step out for a bit, and then we'll check the trades and see what will be happening. But for now, yeah, that's exactly what we have. Guys, this is not a Monday clip. You can see it's a beautiful Wednesday. Focus. Same spot, right? One thing you can learn from me, if I'm being honest, in fact, two things that you are going to learn from me is consistency and patience. I am very consistent, and you know, to be a good trader, you just have to be consistent. You need that consistency. Repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat until you're tired of repeating. Until you're tired of repeating. I am literally in the same spot I was on Monday. So I came on Monday, I scooped yesterday, which was Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. I'm here again to be consistent. One thing that I'm always saying is slow motion, right, is better than no motion at all. If you want it, you have to work for it. That is exactly how you're going to get it. There's just no other way, right? So if it doesn't matter what you're aiming for, you want to be better in trading, you want to lose weight, you want to, whatever you're doing, right? If you want it, you work for it. That's how you're gonna get it. And by working for it, you have to do consistent routines that are boring. You have to just, you know, show up every single time and do what you gotta do. So yes, this is me again. I have done my 30-minute session in the pool. Now I'm in the sauna for another all right, I'm gonna do 10 minutes. Honestly, I am supposed to have improved by now, but damn, this place is so hot. And let me just check on my charts. It's after 7 right now. You can see it's after 7, 6 minutes past 7. Let me see if anything has happened. You see, our oil position is the one that is just moving up in profit. As you can see there, gold has not yet triggered our limit order. As a matter of fact, oh, it's kind of like dropping, so it might trigger it soon. Let me see what has happened on the NASDAQ. Yo, I am so hungry right now. I'm literally so hungry. Alright, nothing is happening on NASDAQ. USD is dropping. Okay, USD is looking good. I might just want to jump into yesterday sooner than later. But yeah, that's about it. That is exactly what is happening in the market. All right, so it's already 5 minutes that I've been in here. That's 5 more. Oh, I don't think I can spend extra 5 minutes, to be honest. It's just really hot. I'll show you guys, like, yeah, let's go. Good morning. It is a Thursday. I haven't even switched on my setup, and look at what gold did for us. So our limit order was triggered. So beautiful. Yo guys, don't mind my voice if it sounds so cracked up right now, but I'm just waking up. And then our gold trade moved from here, hit our first and our second take profit. We actually made around 400 pips, as you can see there. And then currently it kind of like retraced, but then you see we are sitting around 200 pips on gold. Look at my oil position, absolutely beautiful. What a way to start up the morning. So gorgeous. Look at this. Now I'm about to put my stop loss at break even on oil. Look at that. Nah, lovely. So beautiful. Alright, so you guys, I was just doing my morning routine or whatever, and I decided to respond to messages, check a few things, you know, normal stuff, emails and stuff. Then this very message caught my attention because it is actually a really good question. So someone asked me, what do you do when you're on a losing streak, right? Because of that, he is starting to have FOMO to, you know, trade all of his setups. And honestly, like I said, that is a really, really good question. A lot of traders deal with this a lot. And I actually just remembered that earlier this year, I think in January going into February, I had a pretty rough start on one of my prop firm accounts, right? I was pushing the account quite hard. I wanted to hit the target, taking a lot of setups, and I ended up taking, you know, back-to-back losses, like literal loss, you know. And when that happens, most traders start to feel something, like they start to feel like something is wrong. They start to question everything, their strategy, you know, they start thinking that their strategy is not working. Maybe the market has kind of changed, but then, you know, they need to find a whole different strategy and stuff like that. But That is not always the case, right? Nothing necessarily went wrong. And I want you to understand this right now. It's just the nature of trading, right? And the way I think about it is very simple. A lot of people always use this example. Imagine you flip a coin. You flip it once and then you get heads. You flip it again and then you get heads. You flip it again and again and again, and then you get heads 3 times in a row, or even 5 times in a row, right? Now you are there. It's a coin, right? When you flip the coin for, let's say, the 4th time, are you going to be really angry that the previous flips were heads? Are you going to be scared to flip the coin again because the last time you flipped it, it gave you heads? No, right? And are you flipping the coin thinking that the last 3 were heads, this time it might also be head? Each flip is independent, right? It has nothing to do with the previous flips that you had, and trading works in the exact same way. You guys want to put too much importance on it. Like, it's just the exact same thing. When I take a losing trade, right, and then another losing trade, and maybe I take another one and another one after that, I don't suddenly start, acting like something abnormal is happening, like it's the end of the world, because I know you understand that losses are part of the game, but you should understand that losses are also part of distribution, right? It's their statistics, right? And the mistake many traders make is they start becoming too emotional about the previous results that they just had. If they lose, let's say 2 trades, they're already so scared to take, the next trade, or the opposite starts happening, right? They start forcing trades, they want to get it back so quickly, and then that's where that FOMO starts creeping in. But that's not how you deal with the market, right? That is not the mindset that you want to have when you're trading, because in actual facts, you don't know what is going to happen in the market. I always say this now: if someone tells you that they know exactly what is going to happen in the market, I want you to actually think about what that means, right? For you to know the exact direction of the market, you need to know who is going to enter into the market and at what spot. You need to know how many people are going to enter and what they're going to buy. You need to know how many lots they're going to use to buy or sell. You need to know the contract sizes. You need to know everything in detail. Now, if you do not know that, then you don't actually know the next move of the market, right? You need to know all of these things in detail, and none of us actually knows those things, right? That is why we trade with probability. We have setups. I have a system, trend level trigger. We have structures that over time, they give us what we call an edge, right? When I'm trading, I'm not thinking of it in terms of this particular trade must win. I'm thinking in terms of series, just one trade inside a larger sample of trades. And once you truly start understanding that, losing streaks should not affect you the same way as they did, before. Let's say you have a 60% even win rate, right? It means that if you take 10 trades, 6 are going to be winning trades, 4 are going to be losing trades. You don't know how those losses are going to be distribution, right? It's just distribution that will then play out. You can get 2 losing trades in a row, you can get 4 losing trades in a row, and then the next winners. So it's going to be random distribution. For me, the only question that matters after a trade is very simple. Did I execute correctly the setup, right? Did I follow the rules of my system? Did I manage my risk properly, right? If the answer is yes, then the outcome, it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. It does not matter whatsoever, even if I take like 4 losing trades in a row, because I know that over a large sample of trades, my edge will eventually play out. But if you don't have a system, then that becomes a very hard way for you to think. It ends up feeling like you're just taking random trades, right? That is why having a structured system is actually very, very important. And yeah, so I just thought to actually share that with you guys. So yes, with that said and done, I'm pretty much done with my morning routine. Another interesting thing that was happening is, how everyone has a different broker. I just noticed that in some of my accounts, let me just show you guys that the trade did not actually trigger, the gold trade. Currently, we are sitting way up 500 pips. Oh my gosh, we are sitting way up 500 pips. And when I was about to update the inner circle, I realized in 2 of my other accounts that the trade was not actually triggered on that particular broker. So I'm going to just tell the inner circle, some of the guys might have been triggered, some might not have been triggered, because it literally missed by like just a tiny little bit. Let me show you guys. It is so crazy. Oh, and also my oil position has closed. No, I put stop loss at $500 and then it took me out on oil. So I was way up $1,000. But then, yeah, we have a gap, so it is okay. Our gold is actually looking really good. Let me just show you guys that. So you can see there, right over there, this is our gold trade, up 500 pips right over here on this particular account. Okay, and then this is oil. Like, look, oil just took me out, and yeah, we closed off the oil trade that I had at $500. For now, this is gold. I'm about to lock in some profit here, but then this is the actual trade. So you see in this particular account, look at that, one of my other accounts, it didn't actually trigger. It missed it by just a tiny little bit, and then it shot up to the top. So yeah, that is crazy. I will still have to update the inner circle though. Just tell them, well, those guys that had it triggered, good for them. Those guys that did not, ouch. So yeah, that's a quick update for my morning routine. I need to go for breakfast right now and get my day started. I've done pretty much, everything that I need to do in the morning. I'm gonna have to go for cardio also later today. And then, yeah, so I guess that'll get my day started if anything happens. You guys, do you actually realize that this is the first trade which also did not trigger for everyone in the inner circle? This is legit the first trade of the entire week, and today is a Thursday. Now, that is crazy patience that you need to have right up there to be able to pull that off. So we waited Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yesterday night, that is when the trade was triggered on my account. And then today is Thursday, and yeah, I guess NASDAQ and USD might be looking good. We might end up then taking another trade on the NASDAQ and USD. But yeah, let's get the day started. I'll see you guys when, something is happening in the market. Let's go. All right. Good morning, good traders. How you guys doing this morning? It's a lovely, yes, Saturday morning, and I am ready for breakfast. As you guys can see, we're about to go and have breakfast right now, but because we're going to be coming back late, I just decided, let me just do the weekly analysis for you guys before I go. And before we even do the weekly analysis, this week has been something else. I didn't take a lot of trades this week. I only had 2 trades in the inner circle, and in some of my prop firm accounts. Speaking of which, you already know that this year I am going really hard on these prop firms. The goal is very clear. I need to get funded 2 million in prop firm capital, and not like to say, oh, I once had a $500,000 funded account sitting somewhere. I mean to actually have multiple funded accounts running at the same time. So yes, I've been pushing these accounts, and this week a couple of them finally said goodbye to us, and one of them was my $500,000 funded live account. You guys, funded live account, my $500,000 funded live account got breached this week. And it's so crazy. I had made a withdrawal of around $15,000 on that account. Let me just show you guys. Not sure if you guys can see that, but right over here, we had a payout of $15,000. One was $10,000 and then the other one was $5,000. And I've eventually lost that account. I had a $500,000 live account, and then now I don't have it anymore. So the overall drawdown on this account is 5%, which is totally fine, because at the end of the day, I got the account for $1,600 on 10 trade, if you check that out. So if you do the math, that's a pretty decent trade-off if you ask me. And then I also had a $300,000 account that got breached as well. I got that for around about $900. That was an evaluation account though. So you guys already know that I'm not babying these prop firms. If it's a prop firm account, I'm trading it like a prop firm account. So that's just what it is. The whole point is to push it, to pass it, get the withdrawals, and then to move on to the next ones and keep piling them up until we get to 2 million in funded capital. So yeah, that's part of the journey, and that's exactly what happened to me in terms of trading for this current week. It is indeed a red week, regardless of the fact that yes, on my personal account, I'm closing with $2,000 profit. But yeah, that is completely normal considering how the market has been behaving recently, right? So yeah, the market hasn't been really clean, especially for this current week. Honestly, everything, that's why I didn't even trade that much, just 2 trades that I had. And gold, especially on gold, let me just even see that it didn't play out the way I expected it to, right? Instead of continuing nicely, to the upside, it just decided to drop and take us out. And then NASDAQ and USD right now, they're basically on a free fall. So yeah, it's nothing really dramatic out of the ordinary. It's just a normal trading week, just not as profitable as you'd have wanted it to be. But with that said and done, the market is closed. Let's go on ahead and jump onto the weekly analysis and see what the charts are telling us for this week. And if I want to be honest, this looks like a seller's market right now. Yes, of course, we are trying to get trades here and there. I totally don't trade sell. So it's either I will just have to wait for crazy setups to then come, or for buyers to step in really crazily into the market. But you are never going to see me selling this market unless there is a gap. The only time, if you go back to all my videos, the only time you see me placing a sell is if I'm trying to close the gap, or if the gap is whatever, it has to do something with the gap, right? I'm never going to just randomly trade a sell. But that's it and done. Let me even see what, at this point, does it even matter to look at what news events we have? But I do know that with the ongoing war and stuff like that, we have a lot of countries that are joining into the war. And oh yeah, we have FOMC on Wednesday for next week. That's pretty much it. And then Mr. Powell is going to be speaking on Saturday next week. The market will be closed, so we don't really care about that. But nothing really crazy happening for the next week. It's just going to be really normal. At this point, I don't think, news really does matter, because it's not like the market is following the news, right? We are currently in a crisis and gold is not shooting up to the top. Of course, there are the fundamental things. I'm not a fundamental trader. There are a lot of fundamental things that are happening behind the scenes, and, but anyway, let's get on to these charts. Let's see what's happening so we can get the weekly analysis started off with. Okay, very well then. Starting off with the NASDAQ, as you can see, this market is dominated by the sellers as we currently speak. And the things are not looking really good for the buyers, because you can already see we have this level that is currently forming right over here. And when you see this, I always like to take out my dollar sign. Yes, money, resting at a specific position, right? But I do prefer this if it's always on the buy side, because it will give us more, chances to jump into the trade. It's just the same as, where was this? This was over here, right? You can see it. We were creating the exact same thing. And then as you can see, market got to that level, we put our little dollar sign, we got to that spot, and then we broke right out of it. That's almost the exact same similar thing that is happening right now. Of course, the market could not keep pushing up to the top. Why? We already know the reason. It got to a resistance spot, it got rejected. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what is going to happen in the market, but your edge should play out over time. So if you say that I buy the breakout, you should consider the fact that it can get rejected at this area and it can bounce right back down. In fact, this time it tanked right back down. You can see how it just dropped. So that's exactly what we are looking at right now on the NASDAQ. I am saying that everyone, you can see how many touches we have: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this touch from last week Monday, you can already see that all of the buyers that are currently in this position, they probably didn't take their profits at the trend line. I don't know why. You see, we get to a resistance spot, we get rejected. You're probably supposed to take your profits if we don't break up. But then those people will probably still hold their positions. And then the new buyers that missed this movement here are going to jump in right at this, level. We're going to see all of those people that trade breakouts. They're going to enter in this area. And then this by itself will be creating, a liquidity pool right at the zone. So for that reason, it makes it a really risky zone to want to try and buy, because the market might just crash down and, take all of that out. So for me, I would want to look for probably the next support area, which is going to be somewhere around about this area, right over here, somewhere in the zone, depending on the price action that we see. If the market breaks out of this area, how bad does that have to be when you see the NASDAQ tanking down to around 23,000? Hopefully it doesn't do that, but I'm saying if it does that, that's exactly the spot that I will be looking at. If it goes up and gives us good momentum or whatever, then we see that we can take advantage of this liquidity. We might even end up jumping into the trade also, but then only when the conditions are looking really right. So what I'm saying is, for me, I am a buyer. I buy the market long term. Why? Because we are overly on an uptrend, and in times like these, that is when you always have to trust your system, stand with your system, everything that it's doing. In fact, what I can do here is to trade less, because I can obviously tell that the sellers are controlling this market, and there's no point in me trying to force, for the fact that I buy, look for buying positions. I don't really have to just keep forcing the trades. Patiently wait for it, and let's see how that actually plays out. So now on the NASDAQ, you can see, right, we have an institutional move right about this area at the zone, and then you see how the sellers dropped right into that level. And then if the sellers break out of this area, if they do that, then the market is tanking down, right? Because this will be just like a trap that they're trying to trap all of those people, where it rejected nicely. You see, it got to a support area, rejected, gave us bullish momentum. It even broke out of this certain area right over here. Everything is confirming that the buyers are in control. If it is me, everything, my system will be telling me that, look, it's a good trade. Just look at it. We had the market dropping into a good area, giving us good momentum, and then pushing up to the top. It even got to a certain spot, and then it broke out of it. Then all of a sudden, boom, the sellers stepping, and then they started dropping the market. But that is it. Trading, right? Unpredictable as usual. So we don't know. We don't know for certain what is going to happen next in the market. So what I'm saying now is, I want to see here on the NASDAQ, before I can be very certain that the buyers have stepped into the market, for the market to come up to this level and then break out of it. This is almost pretty much the same analysis that we had last week. So that's telling me that the market didn't actually move, right? This is Monday, right? You can see, yes, this is the entire movement for the week. So pretty much this is Monday, then Tuesday is right over here, then Wednesday was just the market ranging right over here, then Thursday was the market tanking down, and then Friday continuing to tank. So that's exactly the setup. Like, what exactly are you supposed to be trading, in such market conditions? If you were not awake at 3 a.m. when the market opened and gave this type of movement, then definitely this was a rubbish to trade during the entire week, and pretty much all the charts are looking like that. But anyway, that's what trading is all about. If you are able to survive in the market, you know that you can live to trade another day. So that's what is more important. So like what I'm saying, this area right over here, if we eventually break out of this trend line, come and break out of this area, then we would have seen that the buyers are stepping in. But as for now, there's absolutely nothing happening on this chart. Let's just move on to the, what's this, US 30, the Dow Jones, and pretty much the exact same thing, right? The exact same thing. Let me even see on the daily time frame what US 30 is looking at. All right, so US 30 hasn't really gone to the level that we might look at. So this level on US 30 might just be an interesting one. So let's see if we can mark up support. So you can see on US 30, we don't really have a lot of touches like that. So we can't really say it wants to create a liquidity pool as of yet, right? So you can see that it just came to this area, it's been rejecting normal, and then 3 or 4 touches are still okay. If it comes back again, we want to see good price action in this area. And then what you want to do in this trade, right, is, for you not to get disappointed, so to say, right? I think that's the correct word. You're not supposed to have a lot of expectation. That is the only way you don't get disappointed. You're not supposed to expect that, okay, if you buy right here, right, the market, you want to not expect that the market is going to shoot right back up to the top. That's not how you do things. Say you see good price action, you see a good rejection, you see good candlesticks, you buy the market, your stop loss is nicely intact here. There is nothing that is telling you that this market is going to push up to the top. Remember, I said that if only you know how many buyers are going to come into this level, how many sellers, what are the contract sizes and everything, that is the only time you know that, it will push up to the certain level. Other than that, you don't know how the market is going to play out, right? You just put on a buy. Then let's say it moves. Now it gives you, like, let's say 1-to-1 risk to reward. You always want to secure that profit and then let the market move, because at the end of the day, you don't know how far it is going to push, right? If you open like your market, you're saying that you leave the market open like this, you want the trade to run up. In other words, you're just simply saying that I know that the market is going to move from here to this level, so I am not going to take profits. I am going to leave the, I'm not going to secure my trade. I'm not going to break even. I'm not going to do all of those things because I know that the market is going to push up. And in trading, you never know, right? So that is just one advice that I can give you guys. If you want to actually get good trades, always make sure that you are managing your risk properly. And when the market starts moving in your direction, you also have a system that helps you to take profit. Right now on US 30, that is exactly what I'm saying. The only support area that I'm seeing currently right now, it is at the bottom here. So we want to see good price action in this area. And then also, if we don't see good price action, the market is going to fall and then pretty much come to this level. If that happens, you're going to be getting updates in the Telegram channel. But as for now, honestly, there is absolutely nothing happening here. And, if we come also here, in terms of the buy side, let's say it just starts moving back up to the top right now from the level, because remember we said anything can happen. In fact, we're going to say that if it just starts pushing up, this is what we're going to be looking at. This is more like a fake out. So this is a trend line. We want the market to come through the trend line, break out of it, and then push up to the top. Pretty much the same thing as US 30. pretty much the same thing as the NASDAQ. So matter of waiting, we come into this area. If we get good price action, we jump into the trade. If we don't get good price action, it's going to break out, and then we will stay out of the market until we get to the next support area, which is going to be right over here, and do the exact same thing. Or we wait for the market to come break out of these levels, and then we jump right into the trade. Gold. Okay. Gold. Right. Now, if you look at gold, structure looks absolutely good. Structure looks really good. We're maintaining this low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Right. So right now we kind of like have equal lows, as you can see from this area, but then this movement here didn't really go and give us a new high. So we can't really consider that it's almost an equal low. Expect the market to push up and give us a new high, right? But then at the same time should not disrespect this low that you're seeing here. Then it still maintains the structure. So what we're saying is gold still has room. We can still give it a chance. We can still give gold a chance. So what we're saying is we find good support. You can see that we are at support area, right? Previous resistance, we broke out of it, is now a support area. So in this area right over here, right, we can want to wait for gold. In fact, as a matter of fact, let's not even do that, because that would be too risky. Gold has been giving good price action, and then before you know it, it just, reverses and takes you off. So instead of using support area in this case, let us not even do that. Let's just consider it as a range, right? Let's just say this range right over here like this. Now, it'll be way simpler if we trade it like that. Gold, if we break out of the range and we break out to the bottom, we know that gold is going to come somewhere to this level. We have to wait for it to see if it breaks, it disrespects the low that it has here. If it disrespects the previous low, then the entire structure has shifted. The sellers are very much in control, and they will just be in control for quite some time until we see otherwise, right? Or if it moves from exactly the point where it is and then comes to this level and breaks out of the range from the top. So we approach gold with the range trading strategy for this particular week. Let's just say that. So if we now come to this area, we break out of this range, then obviously it'll be a sign that the buyers are ready to jump into the market and might continue pushing up. A more proper one is when we now break out of this area, then definitely we are ready to fly and go back up to the top. But there's a big but. Will the market really do that with all of the, tension happening in the market right now? We don't really know. It's only one way to find out. That is going to be what? When the market opens. But as for me, I'm going to definitely wait for it to show me that the buyers are in control. It comes back all the way from here, comes and breaks out of this area. Then I will jump right into the trade. So that is about it for this week. Nothing complicated as usual. But if you are on the wait list and you want to work with me on one of the programs that I have ever created, check your email. The Certified Trader Group, Platinum program is live right now. This is the most one-on-one support that I've ever given, actually. I think if you've been following up, you know exactly what I am saying. So I am only working with 20 people. Yes, check your emails right now. You will find it right over there, because these 20 seats, they are filling up really quickly. And also, if you didn't sign up on the waitlist, don't worry about that. The official public launch will be in 2 days. All you need to do is follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description below. I'll be sharing all of the details right over there. So you're gonna see what it is, how it works, and everything about it. You'll see exactly why I'm so excited that this is finally launching. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about it. So it's only 20 spots, and if you want to be part of the program, don't sleep on this. Go and check all of the links as explained. But yes, that's about it. I am very hungry right now, but if you did enjoy the video and you found the breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, turn your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel. You feel me? With that, it's been Tino, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you guys.